morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Clap your hands, clap, clap, clap. Stomp your feet, stomp, stomp, stomp. Spin around, spin, spin, spin. All right. Good morning, good morning, good morning. 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 Wash your hands, wash, wash, wash. Shake your hands, shake, shake, shake. Brush your teeth, brush, brush, brush. All right. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Internet. It's Uncle Lou here. Yeah, that's right. It's me, Uncle Lou. Live for you on LouTube today. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it also, and in addition to that as well. Hey, and I mean it. Subscribe to this channel if you're not already. It's of the utmost importance That's right. Subscribe to this channel. If you're here through the other channel and you haven't subscribed to this one yet, subscribe. I'm so close. We're very close. We're very close. And I have some good news. The watch hours is a done deal. So, yeah, good morning in that, BVD.
How we doing?
Man, we're doing great. Yeah, I was just giving everybody the good news, but I hit the watch hours. Amazing. And I'm 900 and something subscribers, so I need 1,000. So,
still not at 1,000 yet?
No, it's 900 and something, but I hit the 4,000 hours sometime overnight. So, like a lot of you are in here now, and that's amazing. And you're in here with your regular account and that. Go on, log out, log into your whatever it is, your Uncle Lou's sunglasses account, your whatever it happens to be, the Mike Leach's pet Sasquatch. Go get all those other accounts that you made. Subscribe to Uncle Lou. Get me to 1,000. We need about 70 more, I think, to hit the 1,000. So you guys have been amazing over the last 2 weeks, helping me out with this new channel. We're very,
60
very
more.
close. 60 more. Okay, we're very, very close. So I really, really appreciate it. If you're watching and you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell notification icon right next to the subscribe button, so your secular phone will let you know when Uncle Lou goes live. Which the YouTube bell icon only works about half the time. Normally, right now it's working less than that because, just because it is. Good news is, BVD, that we do this on a schedule, per se. As it were.
Per se.
Yeah, as it were in that. So we do this show every Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. for you. The morning show with Uncle Lou and BVD. I'm Uncle Lou, and he is BVD. Yeah, and usually we have a guest on, too. Different Pete rotates every day, changes every day. Today is Pigskin Pete. Shout out to Pigskin Pete, too. Mrs. Lou was supposed to be on today, and her work's trying to play them games. And then they called her back into work. But again, the whole free beer tomorrow thing. Supposedly now today is her last day, and then she'll be off. So we'll see. Fingers crossed, because the last place she needs to be is in a hospital all day long. There's too many sick people in there. There's too many corona people in there, and she don't need to be catching that. So hopefully they'll get approved for the work from home deal, and she can start working from home tomorrow. So fingers crossed on that. But Pigskin Pete stepped up to the plate. He's going to join us here in a little bit. And then the night show every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 p.m., which is the call-in show. And if you joined us last night, then you know it's the call-in show because, we took calls. So I apologize.
That was a bit of a surprise to me, actually.
That we took calls on the call-in show?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a surprise to a lot of people who were unable to watch, but it is what it is. But we did have one that watched, so that was good news. And sorry about that yelling, too, as the show was starting. I didn't realize my mic was on.
Hashtag professional.
Hashtag professional, yeah. And Ultimate Troll's mom is over here making my lunch for later this afternoon, and she made my 2 ham sandwiches and forgot to put cheese on them. The lady's not all there. Anyway, she's in there remaking them now, so it's not that big of a deal. But anyway, I didn't know the mic was on, so I apologize for the yelling at the beginning. So Pete will be on today, and listen, the schedule is getting packed here. We're packed up with guests for the next couple of weeks. We'd love to have you on, though. By you, I mean
you,
everyone. So give us shoot us an email. And let us know if you'd like to be a guest here on the morning show. What's the email address, BBD? I can't ever remember in that.
That would be Lou and BBD at gmail.com.
That's right, Lou and BBD at gmail.com. And we'll let you know what days are available, and we'll figure out what works for you and that, and we'll get you set up. So let us know. We'd love to have you. We'd love to have you on. Mrs. Lou is still going to come on. It is still going to be soon. I apologize for it. Some people are probably thinking this was an April Fool's joke, since today happens to be April Fool's. I promise you that's just a coincidence. I've been trying to get Mrs. Lou to come on for a long time, but normally she's at work by the time the show starts, and it just doesn't work out. We thought she was going to be working from home starting this week. it didn't work out. So, but she is coming on. So, like, as of right now, I had to bump her back to, I think it's either next Tuesday or Wednesday she's scheduled to come on now. So,
so you see, our favorite journalist, even Mrs. Lou, gets bumped.
Yeah, General. So, no big deal. No big deal at all. But, yeah, so shout out to Pete. He's going to join us in a little bit. And we're going to have to do this a little bit different, BBD, because he's calling in from, well, it doesn't matter. We can't call him. He has to call us, type of thing. You know how that goes. He's real busy. He's an important person. You know, we can't call him. He'll call us, type of thing. And because we have to do the three-way call, at some point I'm going to have to hang up with you. He's going to call me, and then I'm going to add you to the call. You know how.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you know how to three.
That'll give me time to go take the proverbial tinkle.
Yeah, study the map of the Chesapeake Bay.
That's interesting,
as the kids would say. So shout out to everybody that's tuned in this morning, and man, that I find something. Listen, just what everybody has been wanting to know. Lou, what are your 2020 bowl projections? Let's go. You know, enough already with the schedule previews. We know everything we need to know. What are no games have been played. We haven't seen a single spring practice or spring game. We know next to nothing. What are the bowl projections? Well, I don't have any bowl projections for you, but I did find a potato on the internet that does. So, speaking of potatoes on the internet, I was talking to somebody yesterday. I forget where it was, Facebook or Twitter or wherever it was, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm a truck driver, and this." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I said, "Well, be careful out there, yada yada yada, whatever. What are you hauling?" He said, "Well, I haul for grocery stores." And I said, "Well, I hope you got a load full of toilet paper in there, because Lord knows people are needing it." He goes, "No, actually, right now I'm hauling 40. I think he said 40,000 pounds of potatoes." I said, "My God, I haven't seen that many potatoes since the last time I looked in my comment section." Ba-dum, boom. Yeah, thank you. And I'll be here all week. Thank you. Literally, if you consider all week to be Monday through Friday. So,
speaking of potatoes, Lou.
Yeah.
I was working on the stinger thing last night for about an hour.
I believe you.
Yeah, had myself about 8 good stingers ready. Boy, have I got some phone calls to make to you.
What's the problem?
I don't know. Me, I guess. I don't know.
Well,
volumes. Hashtag professional's the problem.
Oh, volume? Like there is none, or it's too loud?
Is none.
Oh, well, that's a problem with wherever you made the video. But anyway, I mean, if you making a stinger,
volume.
Making a stinger is no different than making a YouTube video. So I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I don't get it either. We'll discuss that later. I just thought I'd bring it up while I actually can remember it.
Yeah, maybe call Catfish on that. I don't know if
may have to.
May have to call the general.
He's too busy journalizing.
This is true. Anyway, shout out to everybody that's joining us here this morning. Let's see who's in the comment section today. Roll call: Ballard Sports, Dago, Rob Dog, Waikiki, Celine Driver, Philly Special 95, Rack Dog, Rob Dog, Mike Reiser, Jesse James, Kevin Cook, Albert Sancho, Gator Haters.
Wonder if he's any relation to Alberto.
Yes.
Alberto?
Yes.
Our favorite ladder climber?
Yes. Oh, you're talking about Armando.
Yes, Armando Gutierrez.
Yeah, I haven't seen him around in a while.
Might have got stuck on that ladder.
I talked to Natty Back Steve last night. He said he's coming over today. He says he's coming over this afternoon. So, fingers crossed. We had 90 Proof Luther over here on Monday. Steve said he's headed over here this afternoon. So hopefully we get a video with him today. That would be amazing. Rumor has it now, and I'm gonna ask him this. I'm gonna ask him about this when he gets here. Of course, Natty Bag Steve, lifelong Florida resident, a transient, but a transient within the state of Florida. But rumor has it that he has a special bond and relationship with none other than that bitch Carol Baskin.
Oh, boy.
And I'm going to be asking him about that on video today.
For the two people in the world that don't know who Carol Baskin is, you might want to explain.
It's that bitch Carol Baskin. But
that bitch.
That bitch Carol Baskin. That's how Joe Exotic refers to her all the
I
time.
wanted to kill that bitch.
That bitch Carol
that
Baskin.
Bitch.
If you don't know who Carol Baskin is, I don't know what you've been doing with your life over the last week or so, but stop watching this right now. Just turn it off and go watch Tiger King right now. If you have not seen Tiger King, turn this off. Stop watching Uncle Lou and go watch Tiger King. What are you doing with yourself? At this point, if you haven't seen Tiger King, I don't know. I mean,
go ahead and set yourself about 6 hours.
Yeah.
6.5 hours.
And watch it.
Block of time aside and get to it.
But, yeah, supposedly Natty Back Steve has a very special relationship with that bitch Carol Baskin, so we're going to find out about that today. You know, Luther came on and talked about the coronavirus and the 2020 college football season. I'm going to see if we can't get Steve to talk about that bitch Carol Baskin in the 2020 college football season.
Well, you know, if it's not too unfair, you might need to get that other guy to talk about Joe Exotic at some point.
Who's the other guy?
And you know, the guy that says everything's not fair.
Oh, you talking about Bob DeBarner?
Bob,
Yeah,
yes,
old
Bob.
DeBarner. Yeah, I'm trying to get him here this week too. Him and now I'm having an issue. Luther showed up, that was great, and Steve's on the way today. I'm sure I can get Bob DeBarner here. I wanted to get our Georgia Tech buddy here, but now he's been having some issues lately. You know his name?
I'm going to say yes, but no.
His if anybody in the comment section, you probably know, but his name is Philip
The Tech Turd.
Hoang.
Oh, yeah.
Tech Tard III, and apparently he's had some issues with being bullied lately. Stemming from this whole, coronavirus and that. So
you know, bullies are bad. Okay.
Yeah, bullies are bad. Yeah. So get Bob DeBarner on, talk about Joe Exotic in the 2020 college football season. Might be a good idea.
Ballard, you might want to pay special attention to this one, because I know being homeschooled, you're probably getting bullied too.
Right. And with Philip Huang, Tech Tard III, I figured we would talk to him about the importance of accepting people for who they are, and not holding one particular person responsible for bullying and this and that. But I don't know.
For those of you that have,
Philip Huang, he lives up there in Atlanta. He can't even get on the what do they call that half-ass mass transit system they have in Atlanta? MARTA. Every time he gets on the MARTA, people is walking up and spraying him with Lysol and whatnot. Anyway, so maybe we'll get him to talk about the effects of bullying in the 2020 college football season or something. I don't know, but we're gonna have them all on. That's it. That's all the super fans right there. 90 Proof for Luther, Natty Back Steve, Bob DeBarner, and Philip Huang, Tech Tard III. That's it. That's all of them.
Wang.
Yeah, that's all of them. That's it. We're down to only 4 here on the channel now. Which is a shame. You know what? I wasn't gonna. Should I?
Yeah, you should.
should I? Hold on. Maybe I shouldn't if I don't know where it is anyway. Yeah, hold on. Tell him a knock-knock joke or something. I'll be right back.
Okay. Knock, knock. Somebody in the comments say who's there. This joke doesn't work unless you say who's there.
How in the hell?
Celine Driver. Now somebody say Celine Driver who? Celine Driver drives a Pinto. That's all I could come up with on such short notice. I love picking on Celine Driver. He's my favorite Camaro owner. You guys don't know this, but Celine Driver actually owns a Camaro for backup. Really a big time Chevy Camaro supporter. You're a little bit late, Albert Sancho.
Oh, coffee refill. Continue with the knock-knock joke. I'll help you out. Who's there?
You missed it, so we'll do it again. Knock, knock. Nah, he's too busy trying to get some coffee or whatever it is he's looking for this morning. We got to take up a collection for Uncle Lou to get a coffee pot for his garage. Not one of them fancy Keurig things. They only make a glass at a time or a cup at a time. And for by the way, Uncle Lou, real men don't use Keurigs. Just so you know. Yeah, he's not listening. Celine Driver, I bet you've already got Uncle Lou a Christmas present. Celine Driver is, of course, Uncle Lou's biggest fan.
I love Christmas presents. What?
Yeah, Celine Driver, Chevy Driver's got you a Christmas present already. We're taking up a collection to get you a coffee pot for the garage.
Coffee pot for the garage. There's a coffee pot out here. Of course, I don't use it. It's an old one, so I use old. But BBD,
get you one of them big.
I want to do something here now. Some people are already going to know the thing. I'm putting a link in the chat too. But I called into your show the other night, BBD. Do you remember?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I had probably the most groundbreaking idea in YouTube history. Don't say what it is. Don't say what it is.
Okay.
It was the most groundbreaking idea probably in YouTube history. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there was some comments back and forth between me and you and in your comment section about whether my suggestion was a good idea or not. The suggestion was even made maybe I should do it. And you even said, why don't you start it, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, say no more, fam. You'll see it on the screen in a minute, BVD. So
I see it.
Okay.
I see it.
Mission accomplished, buddy.
Where in the hell
Mission accomplished.
Where did you find that thing?
Coming soon. I tell you what I'll do. Let's reward somebody for watching BVD TV at 8 o'clock at night. Okay. If somebody, the first person to type in the appropriate hashtag right now wins.
Kevin Cook's already on it.
Wins an Uncle Lou T-shirt of their choice. Someone already typed it. I don't see it.
Kevin Cook.
Where? I don't see it.
Right above Melissa May.
Oh, that's.
He didn't put the hashtag in.
Yeah, he didn't put the hashtag in. He didn't follow directions very well. I don't know what we should.
He's one of those guys that answers a question before you answer. Celine Driver, you don't count.
He's a rebel.
You've already got Uncle Lou pajamas. You don't need a T-shirt.
I guess, should we count Slob Fitness even though he didn't put the...
He got it. He put the hashtag in there too.
Okay, so anyway, coming soon. And listen, man, BVD, I love you. You really missed the boat here. But anyway, coming soon to LouTube. Instead of BVD TV, coming soon to LouTube. A new special series, Slob Fitness. It's going to be amazing.
I still want to know where you got the bat suit.
I tried to pay it forward, and honestly, I felt a little disrespected. So it is what it is. So coming soon to LouTube. #slob fitness.
Well, Lou, look, I'm already an Uncle Lou nut hugger. I can't be taking your ideas and running with them too. You know.
Get off my nuts. Why do people say that? You know, that this happens to me on Facebook all the time too. Like, I'll be in an argument with somebody on Facebook about anything. Doesn't even matter what it is. And if anyone then, if a third person then shows up in the comments section and agrees with my point in the argument, well, of course you agree. You're just an Uncle Lou nut hugger. I mean, that's so stupid.
The first person
I watch
remember,
every single video BVD makes. Am I a BVD nut hugger?
Yeah, you could be. I mean, I don't know. First person I can remember ever being seen called a nut hugger, and I don't see him on here anymore, was actually a Kevin. I think it's Kevin 033, maybe, something like that. That sound familiar? He used to call in. He would call in to my show sometimes when I would take calls and always want to talk about Uncle Lou.
Oh, yeah. I think I do remember who you're talking about.
I haven't seen him in a while. So Kevin, if you've changed your handle there, let us know in the comments. I wonder if that's Kevin Cook. Not to make any
slob fitness. Back to slob fitness though. Slob fitness is really going to change the workout game. I mean, it really is. But don't you think?
I think it definitely has potential.
Slob fitness is.
You still haven't answered my question.
Oh, what was the question?
Where did you get the fat suit?
You don't have a fat suit just laying around?
I wear mine every day. What are you talking about?
Yeah, well, I just had it. I just had it laying around for a rainy day.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I mean, most people have like whoopee cushions and stuff like that laying around, or blow up dolls.
No, somebody got that for me for Christmas, and they were like, I was out somewhere and I saw this, and for some reason I said, well,
wait, someone got you a fat suit for Christmas?
Yeah, and they were like, I saw this, and I was like, I don't know what he'll do with it, but I'm sure you can think of something to do with it. So I got it. It was for, they were thinking of the YouTube channel when they bought it for me. Mm-hmm. I think they were thinking maybe a super fan, make another super fan and make him a fat guy. He was like, but I wasn't out looking. He was like, I wasn't out looking for a fat suit, but I happened to see it, and for some reason, you popped in my mind, and I was like, yeah, he could use that.
Do you actually find yourself when you're out and about randomly buying things for YouTube videos? Like see something, yeah, man, I could use that for you. I've done that so many times, it's ridiculous.
No, not to say that that's never happened, but I have several notebooks out here I use for different reasons, and like in a calendar and that. But one of the notebooks I have but random things will pop into my head, not when I'm out in the store necessarily, but just sitting out. Like maybe I'm filming a video and I'm like, man, it sure would be nice to have whatever, and I have a thing and I write it down, because I might not order it right then or whatever, but I have like my own wish list type of thing. I wish I had this, blah blah blah, and I put it on there, and end of the month rolls around, and if I have a couple of pennies left over, I'll go to my wish list and say, yes, I can finally get that new light bulb I've been needing, whatever.
Thrift stores are great for YouTube props, by the way.
Oh, I like thrift stores. I don't go very often, but there's a couple of really they're huge Goodwills around here.
You got to change your life once this coronavirus thing's over, Luke. Thrift stores are great.
Yeah,
it's like a
thrift stores. I like them.
Whole new world for YouTubers out there in thrift stores. And the shittier the thrift store, the better.
I have a brother-in-law who bought a Ferrari by thrifting.
Really?
True story. I forget the name of the magazine. It's a big name, something like Fortune magazine or something. I did an article on him. He'd go to the thrift store. He'd spend $100. He'd sell what he bought for $200. And he took that. Then he took that $200 back to the thrift store and bought stuff and turned that into $400, and then that $400 into $800, and $800 into $2,000, and he did that for about 2.5 years.
Damn,
bought himself
that's
a
quick.
Ferrari. I don't know if it was 2.5 years, but they did an article.
It
the title
works.
of the article was like the title of the article was "This Man Thrifted a Ferrari."
It's like those coupon women that have like a garage full of coupons. I don't know if you saw that. I forget what show that was on. This woman literally had like a garage full of coupons and stocked up groceries that she'd gotten free from. She goes to the grocery store and actually the store would end up owing her money. That's the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. My brother-in-law's Ferrari is the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
And didn't you make a video?
Yeah,
he let
me drive it one time when I was up there. Yeah, and I made a video about it. But and it ain't no. I mean, it's not like he didn't go out and buy a 20-year-old Ferrari either. I mean, this was a 2012 F430 Spider. I mean, this was.
And he legit did that by thrifting.
Yeah, and that's what he does for a living now.
Hey, man, I'm telling you, people used to make fun of me for the flea market thing, but I'm telling you, you can make, I mean, if you're willing to at sometimes lower yourself a little bit, you can make good money doing that stuff.
Yeah, that's what he does.
But some people think they're above that, and that's okay. They're allowed. They can think that. It's still a free country.
Right. Well, getting less free every day, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Quarantines and curfews. But it is technically
hashtag essential. Hashtag essential.
Yeah, let's change the subject very quickly.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's do this. Let me hang up with you, BVD, and call Pete. Okay. And then once I get him, I think what it is, I think I'm calling him through his Skype phone number or something. Because he's trying to use his microphone instead of just his phone. Anyway, so I have to call him, and then. You know how three-way works. So anyway, let me let you go, call him, and then we'll add you right back, okay?
Sounds good, bud.
All right, buddy. All right, yeah, so let me look up Pete's number here because it's a different number that he sent me here. I like it when I have guests on and they do everything they can to make it very complicated. That's always a good idea. If you're ever a guest, make sure you try to do that. That would be great. What am I doing? Oh, he's going to call me. That's right. Okay, Pete, call. Yeah, call. I see you there. That's right. I don't call you. You call me. That's right. Time waits for no man, and neither do I. Just keep that in mind. No, I'm just kidding. Once we get Pete and then BVD back on the line, I'm going to pull up. You guys have heard me talk before about this college football news website that I like to use sometimes. Not ESPN, but just a college football news website that I don't know who runs it. I don't know anything about it, but mostly what they do is lists of everything. There are tons of articles on there, and it's usually always like the first 2 words of the article are almost always top 5, blah 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 blah, whatever. Top 5 wide receivers who are under 6'2", but are really fast, or top 10 offensive linemen who are barely under 300 pounds, and from the Midwest, whatever. Just weird. All these lists always. Anyway, I went there this morning, and the first thing I see is 2020 bowl projections, and I'm just thinking, how can you? I'm just thinking, how's that possible? Yeah, but good morning in that, though.
Yeah, good morning. I guess the computer thing ain't going to work, so I'm calling you on my phone.
Yeah.
Usually when I call on my phone, it sounds like I got one of them surgical masks on that everyone's wearing, so.
Oh.
Can you?
I sound all right? It sounds okay to me, and if we can get a hashtag professional in the chat, That would be perfect.
Yeah.
Let me add BVD back real quick, and then we'll get going with all this important stuff we have to discuss here.
All right. Sounds good.
It'll automatically mute you as I'm calling BVD, but then it'll add you back as soon as he answers. So just hang tight for 1 second.
All right.
Yeah. Good morning and two in lieu of.
Yeah, let me add Pete here.
Additional stuff going on.
Okay, should be all three Stooges on the line now.
You there, Pete?
I'm here.
Wow, look at that.
Amazing. Hashtag professional. Hey, do you think there are three YouTubers anywhere else in the world right now who have the combined professional technical knowledge that the three of us have, the expertise?
No way.
I don't
Nope.
either.
Not possible.
How's that possible?
See,
Sorry
I've
about
relied on both of you guys for your technical expertise before, and I can promise you.
Therein lies the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Oh man, Pete, I don't know if you were listening at the beginning, but I found what we've all been looking for: a 2020 bowl projections.
Oh God.
Yeah. All I'm really interested in is the Potato Bowl, because anybody that does bowl projections right now, I mean, I can see doing playoff predictions because, I mean, there's 10 or 12 teams that, almost everyone's playoff predictions is going to be 4 of about that same group of 10 teams or so, unless you get somebody that wants to go like the dark horse route or dark horse route or something. But,
Right.
Generally speaking, I can see doing like a playoff prediction thing, but like, Are people really curious right now who this website thinks might be playing in the Outback Bowl? I don't know, but we're going to find out here in a second. But don't you think that's a little ridiculous, though?
It sounds to me like they're just trying to scrounge for content because there's nothing to talk about right now.
Well, I know a little bit about that too, I guess.
Yeah, we don't know anything about that, do we?
Yeah, I got a video up where I made a steak the other day. That's what I've relegated to.
BVD spent an entire month on his channel talking about eating ass.
That's the comments.
And
what's
sad is that was before sports were canceled. He did it because he wanted to.
How did that start anyway? Do you remember?
I have no idea. I have no clue. No clue. Anyway,
Things take off in a hurry in the comments section, don't they?
Yeah, they definitely do. I'm gonna see if I can't pull this list up though. This is just fascinating to me that someone actually think. I wonder if they're gonna give any reasoning for why it is they think Florida's headed to the Outback Bowl or whatever it happens to be.
What I'm curious about is who does this person or people or things have Tennessee beating in the championship game? That's all I want to know. The rest of it's irrelevant to me.
Well, if you were listening to the call-in show last night, you already know it's Kentucky who they'll be playing in the national championship.
Oh yeah. I heard that genius.
I don't understand why Kentucky's not getting much respect outside of its own fan base, but honestly, I could see them making the national title this year, sir. Get eyes checked immediately if you honestly can see that.
No offense whatsoever to girls, none whatsoever to girls. But wasn't that a girl? Wasn't your first caller like a Kentucky girl, or like a Kentucky 6-year-old boy? One or the other.
Yeah, I think that's who said the thing about the. I don't know how old they were, but it was a Kentucky caller who made the comment about them. Clearly, it was a Kentucky fan.
Hell, that might have been your first Kentucky caller.
Hey, guess who's playing in the Liberty Bowl this coming season? Yep, Baylor versus Mississippi State.
Who's coaching Baylor now?
The guy from LSU.
Oh, the
Not Joe Brady. He
Yeah,
went
the
to the
defensive
Panthers.
coordinator from LSU.
Is it Dave Aranda?
Okay.
Is it Dave Aranda, I think. But, yeah, I'll put it up on the screen so people can follow along. But AutoZone Liberty Bowl, Baylor versus Mississippi State. That's a long way to fall for Baylor from New Year's Six Bowl to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. But anyway, it is what it is. Oh, what about the Bad Boy Mowers Gasparilla Bowl? Can't wait to see this matchup
God,
here.
what a name.
Syracuse versus Houston. Now, this should be
that's must-see TV.
Bahamas Bowl. Southern Miss versus Northern Illinois. Look at this. South Carolina will be bowl eligible. Pete, thoughts on that?
Wait, is it the Outback Bowl or the Belk Bowl?
Belk Bowl, Virginia versus South Carolina. Get your tickets now.
They played in the Belk Bowl more than any other team in history.
They got no shot in that game because Virginia will have a Greenville boy starting at wide receiver this year, so they're done. They might as well cancel their tickets.
What a disappointing season for South Carolina. I mean, think about it. They beat a top 5 team last season and then turn around this year and only make the Belk Bowl? What a disappointment. What a disappointment.
You didn't know any better. If you didn't know any better, you'd think Butch Jones was coaching that team, wouldn't you? Hashtag 2016.
Yeah. This is just alarming. How do you go from beating a top 5 team on the road to then ending up in the Belk Bowl? Oh, that is just humiliating. This is really sad.
And they usually lose the Belk Bowl to some middle-of-the-road or bad ACC team every year, too.
Yeah, well, according to the geniuses over at College Football News, they're on pace to do it again in 2020. Camellia Bowl, Buffalo versus Louisiana. No one cares.
There you go.
Camping.
What? What do you mean no one cares?
You care about the Camellia Bowl?
Doesn't everybody care about Buffalo and Louisiana?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was a Camellia Bowl.
I didn't even know there was a Louisiana.
Yeah, I'm gonna change the whatever it's called where you pick like the on YouTube when you pick like the type of channel you have, like sports or whatever. I'm gonna change mine to education.
Okay.
I actually changed mine to entertainment.
Yeah.
Which is probably not true at all. It's not very entertaining.
Camping World Bowl, Virginia Tech versus Oklahoma State. That's at least an interesting matchup, I think.
Mm-hmm.
We need a Florida versus Oklahoma State game, mullet versus mullet.
Well, it would have to be a neutral site game. Florida doesn't play non-con games outside the state of Florida, not road games. They haven't done it since 1991.
That's interesting that you even know that, if it's true.
It is true. Florida has not played a Power 5 team on the road, non-con, since 1991.
Wow.
That's an amazing stat.
Now, they play Florida State every year. That's their excuse, Well, Georgia plays Georgia Tech every year. But we don't use that as an excuse. We still go out and play at Notre Dame. We played at Arizona State several years ago. We played at Oklahoma State several years ago.
Wonder what about Alabama?
They played at Wisconsin a few years ago and at Penn State a few years ago.
Alabama played at Wisconsin? Why do I not remember that?
Or maybe they're about to, but I know I know for sure they played at Penn State under Nick Saban.
Yeah, they're playing at Wisconsin in like 2023 or 2024 or something like that.
Well, I know they played at Penn State then. And then the other thing Florida fan will tell you every time I say that is, we played Michigan 2 seasons ago in week 1. Yeah, in Texas. That's not a road game. That's a neutral site. I mean, what's next? Florida fans going to try to convince us that if they make the Peach Bowl, that's a road game? Stop it. Stop. That's a neutral site game. When Georgia plays Florida, is that a road game for either team? No.
I was just getting ready to say they play that Jacksonville game against Georgia every year. That's a road game.
Yeah. So, no. They have not played a Power 5 non-con game on the road since 1991, and that is pathetic. That is pitiful.
That's bad.
It's just ridiculous. Anyway, moving on. How do we get on that? We're talking about Virginia Tech and Oklahoma State. I'll say this about Oklahoma State, and I haven't done any predictions for records for next year or anything like that. If I was going to pick a team, though, not named Oklahoma or Texas to possibly win the Big 12, like a dark horse team, I think Oklahoma State could be that team. Now, here's the problem with Oklahoma State. They're like, well, I don't know. I don't know who they're like, but it seems like a lot of years Oklahoma State has a team that's good enough, especially, maybe you watch them play the first month of the season and you're like, man, they're scoring 50 points a game and they might can make some noise here. And then they'll, you look back at the end of the year and they're 8-4, and the 4 teams they lost to are like 5 and 6 win teams, and you're like, what happened here? It just seems like they find a way to do that every year. But I do think Oklahoma State's going to have a good team this year. I would be surprised if they're bad enough to end up in the Camping World Bowl. I think these people are too low on Oklahoma State, in my opinion. I don't know, for whatever that's worth, which is probably not much. Oh, the Cheez-It Bowl. Yes. Michigan State. Who took that coaching job at Michigan State after they fired D'Antoni? Oh, Mel Tucker, old Georgia defensive coordinator. He's the head coach at Michigan State now. Michigan State versus West Virginia in the Cheez-It Bowl. Any thought? I know we got Nick DTV, I think is his name, right? He's going to be on Friday, I think. He's a West Virginia fan, and, of course, Waikiki's a West Virginia fan. We got several West Virginia fans around the channel. But
West Virginia really screwed themselves in some ways by going to the Big 12, because they're that one team that every few years will come out of nowhere, and you look up at the end of the year and they're like 10-1 or 11-0, and then of course they would get blown out in a bowl game. But I don't see that happening for them anytime soon, being in the Big 12.
They should have been in the ACC, honestly.
Yeah.
Or Big 10. I mean, regionally, of course, region doesn't matter anymore in college athletics, but it's really kind of a shame too. I've always thought Clemson should be in the SEC.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
No.
Yeah, I know. They're scared. They're scared of teams like Tennessee and Vandy.
Right.
Hey, don't forget South Carolina.
Yeah.
Well, South Carolina should be in the ACC. I think people myself for years have said those two should swap. Yeah, I know originally they were. Or not originally, but a long time ago. Isn't that their only conference championship?
Yeah, 1969.
The good old days.
That lady, when I did that call in the campus bookstore that time, the South Carolina lady was probably the funnest lady I talked to. Like, she even thought the things I was saying was funny. Like, she's pretty much laughing the entire time I'm talking to her when I'm trying to, if you guys don't know, haven't heard or didn't see it, I called a bunch of campus bookstores, but I called the South Carolina campus bookstore and tried to buy a 1969 ACC championship T-shirt. And the lady was like, ACC? And I said, yeah, ACC championship shirt back when y'all won it in 1969. It was the last conference championship you guys won. I was wondering if you had any T-shirts left, and she was like, I don't think we have anything left from 1969. I was like, well, what about 2011 when you went 11-1 and won the SEC East for the only time? You got any 2011 SEC East Division title hats? And she laughed and she goes, no, we sold out of those real quick.
I wonder if they have a banner up in the stadium for that division title. I bet they do.
Oh, I just about guarantee you they do.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Honestly, don't know.
There's got to be something there for that.
What a proud program that is.
Outside of 69, that's their only, except for maybe a Belk Bowl banner. It's the only flag they would have to fly, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, they got the beat Clemson 5 times in a row banner hanging up there too, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh,
you know the story.
Banner for that.
You know the story about the Clemson South Carolina game with the cheerleaders. You familiar with that?
No.
Wow, I'm gonna have to. I thought for sure you would know that and be able to tell us about it. Something about
Well,
a
that's what it
prank.
is. What about
Yeah,
cheerleading?
well, no, it was a prank that I think. Oh man, I wish I hadn't even brought it up now since I can't. I thought for sure you know about that. Something about the South Carolina cheerleaders were actually football players, or Clemson cheerleaders were football players, or shit, I don't know. Sorry for even bringing it up. That's your homework, though, Pete. Look
Imagine,
that
I'll figure that
information
one out.
up.
imagine
I'll
winning
I'll get right on that.
imagine winning 11 games 3 years in a row, and the best you have to show for it is a win in an Outback Bowl.
Was that when they beat
Hell,
Michigan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, real talk. I know we clown on South Carolina. That Jadeveon Clowney play.
oh man,
Is there a football
yeah.
fan on planet Earth who can't picture that play in their mind right now? And there's very few plays that are like that, especially not plays that don't involve your own team. But if you're a college football fan, you can close your eyes right now and you can replay that play in your mind. Now
Well, they played that clip on TV
they
like
did
a
play
million
it.
times.
They did do that. They did do that. But still, that's been what, 9 years ago now.
Yeah.
And
that's the play where he basically met the guy in the backfield and decapitated him, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they
Yeah.
picked up the ball and scored.
Yeah. It's definitely one of the most memorable college football plays of this century. You know, like that.
Yeah.
And like you said, ESPN played it a million times, but that was something. I didn't like Jadeveon Clowney's attitude the next year, I guess it was. His last year in Columbia, he didn't want to be
gave
there.
up.
He gave up. He didn't want to be there. Afraid of injury. I didn't like that at all. I thought that was a bad look. I thought Steve Spurrier should have benched him. And Spurrier did bench him a few times in games. And they kept using the excuse that, well, he was hurt over the summer and didn't get enough conditioning in, so we have to take him out to give him some breathers. No, you're taking him out because he's out there half-assing around. And the thing is, that's how you, well,
Exactly. That's how you get hurt.
You can get yourself hurt at any time in football. It's a very dangerous game. But if you're out there not taking it seriously and loafing around, that does increase your chance of injury. So I don't know what he thought he was helping by doing that, but I thought that could potentially hurt his draft stock, but he still went really, really high. But anyway, enough about South Carolina. What are we doing? This is ridiculous. No one cares.
And they got to get publicity somewhere. Might as well be here on YouTube.
Speaking of publicity, what about the Cherubundi Boca Raton Bowl featuring Temple Temple versus Marshall? What is? I know they put the sponsor's name, so I'm sure that's what Cherubundi. I'm sure is some type of company. But does anybody know what Cherubundi is? I have no clue.
I have no
Sounds
clue.
like Al Bundy's cousin, lot lizard cousin or something.
One of these other bowls we just did, which one was it? The Bad Boy Mowers Gasparilla Bowl.
That's it.
I remember making fun of the word Gasparilla either last season or the season before during bowl season, and someone told me that it's like a giant pirate festival or something. Gasparilla, like a bunch of people.
Gasparilla was a city.
Oh, well, maybe they have a giant pirate festival there or something, but I remember somebody telling me people walk around with peg legs and
Gasparilla
shit.
was like a kind of root beer. Oh, it's sarsaparilla.
Nothing wrong with root beer.
No.
What about the Cure Bowl? And is this just like a cure for, like a?
Yeah,
Is this just like the generic cure? I mean, they're not trying to cure anything in particular here, but the Cure Bowl, SMU versus Toledo.
What's next? The Typo Bowl, where it was actually supposed to be the Care Bowl.
No, you couldn't be further from the truth. Next is the famous Idaho Potato Bowl.
They should call that the Uncle Lou Bowl.
Ha ha ha.
No, not
commercials for that bowl.
Not because you're a potato, just because you kind of, champion the term potato.
Now, what's funny is I actually know a human potato who lives in Idaho.
I think I know.
In fact,
who you're talking
anybody
about.
in Idaho is surprising.
Yes, speaking of slob fitness,
Yeah.
it goes by the name of A Slob. on here on YouTube. Anyway, let's click this next button and see what happens. Might be starting to get into some games featuring teams we actually recognize. Boston College versus UCF in the Fenway Bowl. Where's that played?
I have no idea.
Fenway Park.
Boston?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I was just joking. It actually is Fenway Park. Okay.
I was supposed to be in Boston
that would make sense.
5 or 6 days. I was really looking for. I mean, I was looking forward to going to New York because you get to see my wife's family up there and that, but my brother-in-law. But I had never been to Boston before, and we were gonna be in New York for 8 or 9 days, and we were gonna take like 2 or 3 days in the middle of that trip and go spend a couple of days in Boston, which I've never been there, and of course all that is out the window and canceled. But you ever been to Boston, Pete?
I've never been to Boston, no.
Okay. Are you
But if you're going to play in one of those low-level bowls, that's the ones where they play in Yankee Stadium or they play in a major league ballpark. Those would be a cool one to go to.
That would be, yeah, it would. I haven't seen the Pinstripe Bowl. I don't know if they did away with that or if it's coming up later on this list. But they've had that one in Yankee. I don't remember the Fenway Bowl, and this is maybe I just don't remember. But is this the first time they've ever had a Fenway Bowl?
Yeah, I don't remember them doing it in Fenway before.
I don't either. They've had the Pinstripe Bowl for a couple of years. That's like you mentioned in Yankee Stadium. But I don't know. Maybe this is replacing the Pinstripe Bowl, or maybe we'll see the Pinstripe Bowl later. I don't know. But Pete, would you consider yourself to be a traveling man?
Yeah.
That's good. Where was the last vacation you went on? Where was it to?
Let's see here. I don't know if you'd really call it traveling very far because it was Myrtle Beach.
Okay.
We take the kids every April to Myrtle Beach for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
We actually had to cancel that trip. We're going the second week of April.
Yeah.
So we're trying to figure out if we can get our money back for that or not. We don't know what's going on with that. But, yeah, so Myrtle Beach was the last place I traveled to.
Are y'all more now I know where you live. You can say if you want. I won't say. But do y'all consider, like, when it comes to vacations, are y'all more like beach or mountain people?
More mountains because we live by the beach.
Okay, yeah, I knew that. So
I was going to ask where. Yeah, you've said plenty of times on your channel where you live. I still won't say it, but
Charleston.
Yeah. Okay. Where is the nearest beach to Charleston? Like, what's it called?
Oh, there's a ton of here.
Nearest
Beach,
one
Isle
that
of
we
Palms,
might recognize.
Isle of Palms, Sullivan's Island, Keel Island, Holly Beach. Those are all within 30 to 45 minutes of my house.
Did you say Folly Beach?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought that's the one. That's one I recognize there. I used to live in St. George. You know where that is, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Big town.
Okay, now that you've said again that you live in Charleston, let's ask the questions that everybody really wants to know. How often do you go out in downtown Charleston looking for the Southern Charm people? And if you don't do that, why?
Well, we go downtown, my wife and I, pretty often. Probably once a month, just to go down there and eat, for like a date night or whatever. And I have seen some of those people out in the restaurants before. They're actually all over the place.
Now, have you ever seen them being filmed, or you just happen to see them out?
Yeah, no, never being filmed. Just happen to see them out. Yeah.
That would be strange to, you watch those shows sometimes, any reality show, and sometimes you forget that there's like 4 cameramen standing around. It would be weird to be out to eat somewhere, and like at a table across the restaurant, there was some other family eating with 4 people standing around filming them the whole time. Well, that would be very strange to see, wouldn't it? As much reality TV as we watch, it would still be strange, I think, to be out and see that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to be there if they're filming. Like, I don't want to be on that show, as one of these idiots in the background who's eating his food. I don't want to be on TV like that.
Yeah, that would be weird to see. Very strange to see that. Anyway, if you're watching and you don't know what we're talking about, that show Southern, I think it's called Southern Charm, I think. Anyway, Mrs. Lou watches it, so.
One of the
I'm not gonna
reality
lie.
shows I do
watch
not
it.
watch.
I watch it sometimes too. I'm not gonna lie and say I don't, but Mrs. Lou is one of those things. She records it all, and then, whatever random night where there's nothing on, she'll put an episode of it on. So I'm not gonna lie and say I've never seen it, but she watches it all the time. But yeah, the L.A. Bowl, which clearly is played in Inglewood, San Diego State versus Arizona State. This is another one I kind of have a problem with. I put Arizona State as kind of like my Oklahoma State of the Pac-12 for this year. I think I might be higher on Arizona State than the average Bear this year. I was wrong about what's that dinosaur they dusted off from ESPN and hired out there at Arizona State? Herm Edwards. We play to win the game. That guy. I was dead wrong about him. He's done a lot better than I thought he would out there.
You might want to rethink that. Wouldn't want to be in a restaurant when they're filming. Good God, coronavirus, anyone? You might want to rethink that. Not wanting to be in a restaurant when they're filming a reality show. Christy says she was an extra, made $1,000 for the day. Sign me up.
I've wondered that because, like Pete mentioned, when you see them out, you do see people in the background, particularly the restaurant scenes. And like Pete said, you'll see people eating. Now, sometimes their faces are blurred out, and sometimes they aren't. And I've often wondered about that and the rules and the laws. And I know technically you can film anywhere in public and, blah, 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 and all that, but I've often wondered about that on these reality shows, some of the people you see in the background, because, like I said, sometimes you'll see their face blurred out, sometimes you won't. So maybe they do go around and I don't know if they get, like, there's, like, some kind of paperwork they get everybody to sign that's in there, and if you don't sign it, well, we have to blur your face out. I know
according to the law, they definitely don't have to have anybody's permission in a public place. If they're blurring their faces out, they might be doing that out of courtesy, but they don't have to.
Yeah, and I guess technically, if you're in a restaurant, maybe that's not considered in.
Yeah,
like
that's
maybe
private.
It's different
Could
if you're
be
just,
private.
Like maybe they're out at a park or walking down the road, and someone happens to be in the background. Maybe that's different.
If the restaurant's open to the public, then it's considered public.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Even if it's privately owned, maybe.
Because anybody can go in there from the public.
I guess maybe the restaurant is the only one that they really have to get permission from to bring the cameras.
The weird thing about that too is you see the people in the background and they act like nothing's going on. I'd be that idiot that was like staring at the camera.
Yeah. How can you just sit there and eat your hamburger like normal when Thomas Ravenel is 2 tables over eating caviar and $500 bottles of champagne or whatever. Amazing.
That's something I'll never have to worry about. There's not a restaurant in this town that has $500 worth of champagne, let alone a $500 champagne.
Now, Pete, what do people in and around the Charleston area think about that show in general? Are they embarrassed by it? Is it a point of pride? And what's the current state of the reputation of the Ravenel family? I know his dad was like a big time senator for years and years, and then the son, what's on the show, he had some sort of public office, state office, and got in trouble and has been in and out of jail a couple of times. But what, just in general, not necessarily you in particular, but what, your friends or whoever, people that you've known in the Charleston area, what do they think about, like, a lot of people watch that show that have never, I've been to Charleston, but a lot of people watch the show, they've never been there, they don't know anything about the area or whatever, and all they know about the Charleston area is that show. What do people around there think about that?
I mean, I don't really know that anybody really thinks much of it at all. I don't even watch the show. I've seen it before, but I think it kind of misrepresents Charleston a little bit as an upscale hoity-toity place with a bunch of rich people, which there are a bunch of rich people in Charleston, don't get me wrong. But, Charleston itself, it's a college town, tourist town. I mean, most people don't have, $50 million and own all these historic hotels and properties, down on the peninsula down there. But they're a cast of characters. Yeah, I mean, Thomas Ravenel is kind of a piece of shit, really. Everybody knows that. And his father, who, like you said, was a senator for a long time, he was a piece of shit too, and a racist and a segregationist. But everything around here is named after those guys. The Limehouses, the Ravenels. I mean, there's streets and bridges and, you know, parks and you name it. They're the blue bloods of Charleston.
Yeah, and none of the people on that show really appear to have any sort of meaningful job or employment. They appear to all be living off their parents' money.
They're all heirs to fortunes.
Yeah. It's kind of weird.
New money.
The average person across the United States who maybe has never been to Charleston and doesn't know a lot about it knows two things. They know Southern charm, and they know angry grandpa. You couldn't really have two further apart on the spectrum type of representations. I mean, angry grandpa, that you know, they're sort of the quote unquote typical white trash type thing. Grew up in trailers and all that, and then you got the Southern charm people who are trust fund baby millionaires type of thing. And I don't think angry grandpa and them lived in Charleston, but maybe a suburb right outside or something. But I've seen a lot of videos they do where they talk about Charleston, and they've done videos in Charleston, so they must live really, really close.
Yeah, I think they live in my area. I live in a town called Somerville, which is like 20 miles.
Oh yeah,
outside of Charleston.
Okay. Yeah.
I recognize when I would watch Angry Grandpa, I recognized some of the shopping centers, like where they would go eat sometimes from when I lived in St. George. In order to do anything, we'd have to drive down to Somerville.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of that, BBD, you're a big high school football guy. Are you familiar with Somerville High School football?
I am primarily the coach, or the coach that used to be the coach there. Yeah.
Yeah. So John McKissick was, he was the coach there for almost 70 years. But he just died last year at the age of 93. But he holds every record. I mean, he owns the all-time win record at any level of football. He's got wins.
Ridiculous number of records.
You know who else owns a bunch of Somerville High School records?
A.J. Green.
A.J. Green.
Yeah. A.J. Green grew up about 5 minutes from me.
Y'all are, no, you're a little older than him, aren't you?
Yeah. He was after I was in high school.
Yeah, you're closer to my age. Yeah. A.J. Green. A.J. Green graduated college or left college in 08 or 09, so he was probably graduated high school in like 2005 or 6.
Yeah, I graduated in 99.
Okay, yeah.
Are they still good, Pete?
Yeah, well, actually, I mean, they dominated the Southeast and the state for 50 years. But the school that I went to, so once Somerville got big enough to where they had to start building other high schools, I ended up going to the new high school. It's called Fort Dorchester. And Celine Driver's on here. He knows a guy that I went to school with that played at Fort Dorchester, a guy named Carlos Dunlap that played for Florida.
Oh, yeah, Carlos Dunlap.
Wait a minute. There's Fort Dorchester. Isn't there a Dorchester Academy or something like that? Or is that this one and the same? What's the highway that runs between St. George and Somerville?
Well, that's probably Highway 17.
17, okay. Isn't Dorchester on that highway?
No, I grew up on Dorchester Road, but no, that doesn't. I mean, that just goes from North Charleston into Somerville. That doesn't lead anywhere.
Oh, okay. I for some reason, it seems like I remember passing Dorchester something every time I would go from Somerville or from St. Charles down to the Charleston area.
Yeah, now there's tons of stuff around here named after Dorchester, so it might have been something else.
Okay.
The Lending Tree Bowl, Eastern Michigan. You know what I'm going to do one day? I'm going to do a trivia thing one day where I name a bowl game and somebody has to tell me what city it's in. But Lending Tree Bowl, Mobile, Alabama, Eastern Michigan versus Troy. Okay, on to the next one. Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl, Fort Worth, Texas. Iowa State, shout out to JW, versus Navy. And there's some sort of arrangement here, isn't there? I think a service academy plays in this bowl game every single year, as long as there's one that's has the 6 wins or whatever.
Yeah, I think so too.
Iowa State versus Navy. Then you got the Military Bowl presented by Northrop Grumman, played in Annapolis, Maryland, the Navy Academy up there. PITT versus
I've been there.
Cincinnati.
You ever been to Annapolis before?
No.
It's a cool place.
No.
Really
I've never
cool.
been anywhere in the I've been to Maryland, but it's only because my dad took a wrong turn one time in Washington D.C. and
Wrong turn.
Yeah,
Look out, Waikiki.
If you get lost
so
in
my dad
Washington
went-
D.C., you can go in and out of Maryland about 15 times in like a 5-minute period.
My dad went to school at the Naval Academy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was actually a classmates with Roger Staubach. They graduated the same year.
Oh, wow.
Well, shout out to Papa Pigskin Pete.
So,
Yep.
were you a military brat?
Yep. Charleston was a military town for a long time.
Well,
We
yeah.
had Navy base and an Air Force
Yeah.
base here.
So was he lucky and got stationed there like for a long, long time? So you pretty much grew up there, or did you have to move around a lot when you were a kid?
So Charleston was their last spot. Both my parents were in the military. They got stationed here later in their career. But yeah, I mean, they went all over the world. I mean, my sister was born in Japan.
Oh, wow.
He was stationed at Long. He was stationed all over the world,
Yeah.
all over the country. But Charleston was their final landing spot. And my dad's a doctor, or was a doctor. He's retired now. So when they moved to Charleston, he started up a private practice here.
Oh, okay.
Stayed here.
So you were born in Charleston.
I was born in Charleston. Yep,
Oh, okay.
in the Navy hospital.
Yeah. Wow. You learned
Christy,
something.
are
new
you
every day.
really talking about honey? They're really talking about Honey Boo Boo in the comments. I'd like to
Oh,
see
God,
how that happened.
They done fell down we were talking about reality TV shows. They done fell down that rabbit hole. But
Yeah.
but yeah, like, because I'm telling you, everybody in Georgia could not be more embarrassed and ashamed of the Honey Boo Boo lady. You know what I mean? And that's why I was asking you about Charleston, because I'll hear from, and now a lot of times it's people that don't know, it's trash talk thing because they know me through YouTube, so they're already in trash talk mode. But there's nothing but a bunch of Honey Boo Boos down there, type of thing. And there are a lot of Honey Boo Boos type people in Georgia, but they're not all.
There's a lot of Honey Boo
Not
Boos all
all.
over the South.
Right. They're not all like
Can't believe you guys are making fun of poor little Honey Boo Boo. Gosh. And her from not to hot mom, who just happens to be strung out on crack in Alabama somewhere at a casino. I don't watch that show.
Oh, this has to be new. well, first of all, Mitsubishi Motors Las Vegas Bowl, Iowa versus Utah. But this has to be new. The Myrtle Beach Bowl, that's new.
That is-
Really?
That's got to be.
They
new.
never had that before. Played in
Conway.
Brooks
They should go
Stadium.
in Pennsylvania, Ohio State for that, because I mean that's all Myrtle Beach is a bunch of Ohio State people.
Now, what is Brooks Stadium? Would that be maybe Coastal Carolina?
I guess I
It
don't
says
really know of
Conway.
any other stadiums up
It
there.
says Conway, South Carolina, and I know Coastal Carolina is on that highway heading into Myrtle Beach, so it probably is in Conway.
Yeah, that's got to be. Yeah, it's got to be Coastal Carolina Stadium. I can't think of another one up there.
Yeah, this has to be new. They have tie-ins with the American Athletic Conference or the MAC Conference or the Sun Belt Conference, and their projection is that we're going to see UAB versus Georgia Southern. Oh, and it actually says on here, yeah, this is the first bowl game, 2020. It actually tells us that.
I might try to go to that. It's only 2 hours away from here.
The Myrtle Beach Bowl. Well, they're going the wrong direction. I'm in the camp that we need less bowl games, not more. I think that's part of the problem with people's perception of bowls now, is that so many of them are meaningless. I mean,
over half.
They've got to have 30-something bowl games now, and there's just not 30-something. That's 60-something teams. There's not 60-something teams that are interesting enough to watch in a bowl game. There's just not.
Yeah, see, my argument to that is that I mean, if it's not an interesting bowl and you don't want to watch it, don't watch it.
Well, that's
I mean,
true.
They can still have the bowl.
Yeah, I just think it drags. I just think it waters down the whole process. But anyway, Pinstripe Bowl. So the Fenway Bowl did not take the place of the Pinstripe Bowl. They have that still too. Yankee Stadium, Bronx, New York. Florida State versus Nebraska. Now look at this. This would be a rematch.
And that would be a classic
of a
20
matchup,
years ago.
Yeah, and a rematch of a matchup we saw here on YouTube a couple of weeks ago when we did the disappointment playoffs. But yeah, Florida State versus Nebraska. Now again, that's at
who
least
won
an
the game
interesting
last night,
matchup.
Lou?
Oh, Georgia won.
What was the score?
It wasn't close. I don't remember the score, but
Okay, because I predicted 10 points. So just curious how close I came.
I think it was 17.
Okay.
I think they won by 17. This would at least be an interesting matchup, though. Florida State versus Nebraska. That's what I look for during bowl season. If you're not gonna give me good teams, at least give me an interesting matchup. This is one that would at least be worth watching to me. New Mexico.
Yeah,
Bowl.
I'm not sure if Florida State's going to make a bowl.
Yeah, they're in rough shape, man, for real.
Yeah.
They are in rough shape. Taggart hurt them bad. Didn't recruit any quarterbacks. Their offensive line is still one of the worst in the Power 5. They lost their best player on offense and their best player on defense from last year.
Where did he land?
On his head.
He's still somewhere in Florida. He's at one of those group of 5 schools as a coordinator. I can't remember which one it is.
FIU or FAU or.
Man, what a disappointment he must be to the Taggart family.
Well, he got paid $21 million to be a failure, so I'm not crying.
Yeah, I don't know how disappointing you can really consider that to be, but yeah. New Mexico Bowl, BYU versus Fresno State. I'm not spending any time talking about BYU. The Fred Flintstones of college football. 2020 is knocking. Please come in, BYU. Nova Home Loans Arizona Bowl. What in the?
Oh boy, Ohio and Nevada.
Versus Nevada.
Whoop-de-doo.
Oh, Outback Bowl, Michigan versus the Barn. Now this doesn't seem fair. Michigan versus the Barn. Again, at least an interesting matchup here. I think both of these teams, though, right now, if you ask most of their fans, would be disappointed to end up in the Outback. I think both of these teams are expecting a minimum of a New Year's Six bowl.
And that's 2 head coaches that are on the proverbial hot seat every year.
This could be a loser goes home bowl permanently.
Get to this next one.
The Quick Lane Bowl?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Northwestern versus Kent State. Shout out Mark Rogers, the most famous Kent State alum that I know.
Yeah. That's funny.
Definitely more famous than Nick Saban.
Definitely Kmart underwear. Definitely.
Yeah. 12 minutes to Wapner. Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway. R&L Carriers, New Orleans Bowl, Louisiana Tech versus Appalachian State, the Gamecock Killers.
Hey, Uncle Lou knows how to correctly pronounce it. Good for you.
What are Appalachian State?
Well, I mean, that's one of my pet peeves, people that call it Appalachia.
Oh.
Appalachian.
Yeah. Hey, you got to be careful playing App State. They beat Michigan in 2007.
They beat North Carolina last year.
Yeah, I know. Let's see what's next here. Pete's got to go soon. We got to run through these. Red Box Bowl. Comes
Did
out.
it cost $1 to get into that game?
Yeah, and it comes out next Tuesday. Indiana versus Stanford.
Yeah, I don't think I'd pay $1 to see that one.
Speaking of the Red Box Bowl, though, have either of you seen Richard Jewell, the movie Richard Jewell?
No.
I want to see that. That's the guy that was initially accused of doing the bombing at Centennial Park during the Olympics in Atlanta in 1996.
Is it a movie or a documentary?
It's a movie. Yeah,
okay.
It's a movie, and it came out on Redbox, I think, a week or so ago. But, they completely ruined that man's life, because he didn't do it. But once they put his name out, it was just they ended up.
Yeah,
it was the Unabomber.
You don't recover
wasn't
from
it?
shit like that.
Wasn't it the Unabomber they ended up found out did it anyway? But yeah, I want to see that movie though. They really ruined that man's life. But anyway, I want to see that. Louisville versus Washington in the San Diego County Credit Union Holiday Bowl. Okay.
Louisville versus Washington.
Yeah. Speaking of pronouncing things right. The Serve Pro First Responders Bowl, Western Kentucky versus Western Michigan. Okay, yeah, I'm moving on. The SoFi Hawaii Bowl, Western Kentucky versus Hawaii. Okay. Gator Bowl, North Carolina versus Missouri. BVD, your thoughts on the Gator Bowl, sir?
How is Missouri going to make it to the Gator Bowl?
How are they going to top last year's Gator Bowl is what I want to know.
How are they going to top the last 5 minutes to last year's Gator Bowl?
That was an exciting game. No lie. That was an exciting game. But North Carolina versus Mizzou.
Hashtag football profit on the show this morning. Not TJ LSU Dad. That would be BBD. Thank you very much.
I'm going to go out on a limb with North Carolina, too. Pete, what do you think about You're an ACC guy. What do you think about North Carolina? I think they can win 10 games. I don't think they're a top 10 team. You know, the ACC is down.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I
y'all will
like
blow them out. I think. For last year, forget that. That was if y'all played North Carolina. You know this. Y'all played North Carolina 10 times last year. You beat them by an average of 3 touchdowns a game. But are they the second best team in the ACC?
Yeah, I think they are.
I do too.
I mean, they definitely have the second best head coach, and it's not even close, right? I mean, Mac Brown.
Yeah.
I was actually a little bit, I'll admit when I'm wrong. I was wrong about him. I thought he was past his prime.
Me
He hadn't
too.
coached in so long. He's old. I knew he could recruit based on his name alone, but to take the team from how bad they were the previous 2 years and do what he did last
turnaround.
year. Yeah. And they're recruiting well now. I mean, that division, there's probably 4 teams that could win that division, hypothetically. But I'd say North Carolina's right now has got to be the second best team in the ACC.
Yeah, and you mentioned they're recruiting well. I know it's early, but they're top 5 right now in recruiting nationally for 2021. I know it's early.
Really?
I know it's early, and they won't finish. They won't finish top 5. But the point is, they're recruiting at a much higher level than they were previously. And you said Mac Brown, second best head coach, second best quarterback too, I think.
Oh God, yeah, that kid's a stud. He was a true freshman last year.
Yeah.
He's even on some Heisman list,
Yeah.
which I don't think he'll win the Heisman, but because North Carolina's not good enough to win enough games to win the Heisman probably. But
Right.
There's a topic for another show right there. Should win-loss record really be factored in to the Heisman? I mean, if you ask Paul Hornung, of course, he would say no, but that's a good question.
yeah, I mean, it's hard to say you should be a Heisman winner if you're maybe 6-6 or something. But maybe like a 9-3. I'd say if the player's good enough, they should be considered for it.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, Lamar Jackson won it on a team that had 2-3 losses.
I mean, there's some amazing football players out there that play on, 1 and 2 win teams. Hashtag Paul Hornung. Not bitter at all about that.
The Birmingham Bowl, Memphis versus Ole Miss. So Ole Miss gets a bowl bid.
Lane Kiffin doing big things in year 1.
Turning it around. Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. What are they doing? It's like art imitating life, imitating art now. It's like people started making fun of the names of some of these bowl games. So this bowl committee just said screw it. We're gonna troll the trolls. Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. Unbelievable.
Yeah, why didn't they call it the Frosted Flakes Bowl? What's with the Tony the Tiger deal?
They're great. NC State versus UCLA. Okay. The Trans Perfect Music City Bowl. Minnesota versus Kentucky. Minnesota gets back to a bowl game. Not as good a bowl as
Trans
last
Perfect.
year.
Wouldn't that be a better bowl name for something? Never mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Minnesota. So Minnesota apparently gonna keep the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Eh?
All right, let's run through some of these. Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Frisco Bowl, Florida Atlantic versus Wyoming, Valero,
These frickin'
Alamo.
names, man, I swear.
You remember the Alamo, BVD?
I do.
Do you remember when Texas played Southern Cal this coming season in the Alamo Bowl?
I do remember when they play them coming up.
Texas is back to the 1800s. Remember the Alamo
David
Bowl?
David Crockett gonna do an appearance at that game.
Oh man, listen. If Texas and Southern Cal are both bad enough to end up in the Alamo Bowl, this could be a coach loses their job game here. Clay Helton and Tom Herman. How long is Texas going to fart around with Tom Herman? And Tom Herman's personality is not going to buy him any extra years. Some coaches, everybody loves them. What was the fat guy that coached at Arkansas?
Ralph Friedgen.
No, Brett Bielema.
Brett Bielema. Arkansas. I was thinking when you said fat guy.
Brett Bielema was terrible, but he was a nice guy. Everyone loved him. The boosters loved him. The players loved him. The administration loved him. The fans loved him. He was terrible. His personality bought him an extra year or two there. Tom Herman's not going to have that luxury. The guy's an asshole. Nobody likes him. You show up at Texas and end up in the Alamo Bowl, you find yourself out of a job pretty quick. What about the Citrus Bowl, Wisconsin versus LSU? That would be interesting there. They've played a couple of times over the last few last few seasons. So no return trip to the
Oh.
Natty for LSU, according to the good people over at College Football News. That'll make the corn
Oh,
dog
look
mad.
at my boy Cade Ballard making the walk-ons at Independence Bowl.
Army versus Cal in the Walk-Ons Bowl. God, we got to run through these here. We're just now to the Walk-On Bowl. Okay, Cotton Bowl, Oklahoma versus Texas A&M. This isn't a playoff game, or is it? No, I don't
know.
I don't think it is.
Surely not. No way.
I
No
think
way.
it would tell us if it was a playoff game, wouldn't it? Yeah, probably. So no. I guess
Florida
that's
Notre
not,
Dame in the Peach Bowl.
Peach Bowl.
I don't think that's a playoff game either this year.
Florida versus Notre Dame in the Peach Bowl. That would be an interesting game, though. I don't remember Florida ever playing Notre Dame. I'm sure they have, but not any time that I can really remember. The Orange Bowl. Look at the Hurricanes now. Now they say Miami's better than North Carolina. I don't know about all that. Miami versus Boise State. I tell you, give me Boise State and lay the points. I'll tell you that right now. The Fiesta Bowl. Oregon versus Penn State. Also not a playoff game. Man, I like Penn State this year too, but it's going to be tough with Ohio State in the same division. But I really like Penn State this year. Oregon State's another team.
Like Oregon this year.
Oregon is so far ahead of everybody else in the Pac-12 right now. And if you look at
Everybody's
the
high
rankings,
on Oregon.
You look at the recruiting rankings over the last 3 or 4 years. There's nobody. Oregon is almost as far out in front of the Pac-12 as Clemson is out in front of the ACC. Like there's a huge gap between 1 and 2 when you look at Oregon and the rest of the Pac-12. Mario Cristobal is a recruiting monster.
I feel like Oregon the next couple of years are going to run away with the Pac-12, dominate them.
I still want to see whatever, the new quarterback, Herbert's gone. I still got to see what the quarterback looks like out there, but I think Oregon could again have a really, really good team. Here's the playoff games. The Rose Bowl. Ohio State versus Georgia.
Wow.
Good morning in that.
And I already don't even want to watch the playoffs.
This guy's just a Georgia homer. Of course he pulled up the list off College Football News.
This already tells me that they're projecting 2 SEC teams in the playoffs because you haven't mentioned Alabama yet.
Yep, Clemson versus Bama in the Sugar Bowl. So there's your playoff matchups. Yep. Clemson versus Bama. Man, Ohio State versus Georgia would be interesting for a whole lot of reasons, wouldn't it? Justin Fields.
Oh,
man,
it goes without saying.
That would be must-see TV right there.
Last year would have been better, but
yeah, oh man, that would have been amazing. God, we would have got humiliated. And championship game, dang, Pete, no love for me or you, buddy. Ohio State versus Bama in the championship game.
Where was Tennessee in all this? Damn it!
This website is garbage.
It is.
Yeah, Tennessee didn't make the bowl game, did they?
Let me guess who owns this website. Kirk Herbstreit and Reese Davis. Ohio State versus Bama. There's a couple of homers, that's all.
He must have just missed it. There's no way that Tennessee's not going to some kind of bowl game next year.
Did they Did they not have Tennessee?
You didn't mention them.
You didn't.
Oh, my God. This site's accurate as hell.
I mean, they had South Carolina in the bowl game, but not Tennessee. How about that?
That is alarming. Ring the bell.
Yeah.
Pete, it's 9:30. Do you need to run? You stay on.
I'm good for a few more minutes.
Okay. I just I
demand a recount, damn it.
Yeah, you just let us know when I know you got something coming
I'll
up
let you
in a
know.
little
Right
bit.
now,
Okay.
the problem is my 5-year-old. He runs wild, but right now he's all right.
Okay.
So I'll let you know.
So what do y'all think about these playoffs here that they have? Ohio State, Georgia, Clemson, Bama. I mean, they're definitely picking. They're not going out on any limbs here. I mean, okay, Georgia, I get it. I'm a Georgia fan, so they have no chance. But let's be real. Those are 4 of your top 6 teams in every preseason poll you're going to look at. I mean, they're not going out on any limbs here.
Yeah, I think those are pretty reasonable teams for the playoffs.
I can't believe they've got Ohio State, Alabama, and Clemson in the damn playoffs. What's wrong with these people?
Yeah. Tater level 1 million. Pete, what do you think is going to happen with Alabama's quarterback situation? What do you think about Mac Jones, Bryce Young? How do you see that playing out there at Alabama this year?
I see it playing out a lot like with Kelly Bryant when Trevor Lawrence came in.
Me too.
I think Mac Jones probably start 4 or 5 games or whatever, and then eventually Bryce Young will take over.
Yeah, I don't think Saban's going to do like 17. He almost waited too long in 17 to make the switch to Tua. I think if anything, he makes the switch way sooner this year. But I'm with you. I think Mac Jones gets to start week 1, but I think it's just going to become obvious very quickly early in the season that Bryce Young is just way more talented than.
Yeah, the
than
problem is because Alabama's loaded at every position, of course, like they are every year. So if Mac Jones goes 5-0. I mean, it's kind of hard to bench a guy who's winning.
Yeah, why? Yeah.
But if again, if he's planning on winning a national championship, which I think he is every year, you've got to get the better quarterback some time before the playoffs.
Yeah.
You're not going to have a Tua situation work out every time
Right.
like it did for them.
Right. And I mean, Kelly Bryant was 4-0 when he got benched.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there was a huge gap between Lawrence and Bryant.
Yeah.
We all know that.
Okay,
So
So you guys think there's no shot whatsoever of Mac Jones going wire to wire for the Bama next year?
I don't.
I'd say less than a 10% chance.
Yeah.
I had to guess.
Me too. I agree
Interesting.
with that.
Interesting.
What other are there any other interesting quarterbacks? I mean, there's the Georgia thing, but I feel like I've talked about that. Oh, you mentioned Heisman lists when we were talking about Sam Howell, the North Carolina QB. When I pull up a Heisman list and I see Jamie Newman is 3rd in the odds. Now this isn't someone's opinion. These are Vegas odds. So people are putting money on this. Jamie,
Yeah, that's crazy.
Listen. We could have the ghost of Joe Montana, even though he's still alive. No Georgia quarterback is winning the national title. I mean, the might have been a Freudian slip. I don't know. But no Georgia quarterback is winning the Heisman. This just if Jamie Newman puts up 3,400 yards, you know how amazing that will be. 3,400 yards is not winning. I mean, these quarterbacks are putting up 5,000 yards and winning the Heisman. Jamie Newman's not winning the Heisman.
And that's a new offense they're implementing in there too. So that's
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That seems like a stretch.
And I'm higher on Jamie Newman than a lot of people I see, but I'm not that high on him. I think he's going to be a good quarterback. I think he's an NFL quarterback. I think he'll get drafted. I think he'll probably get drafted higher next year than Jake Fromm gets drafted this year, as will Justin Fields, as will Jacob E., as will every other quarterback in
the draft.
Yeah. So I'm high on Jamie Newman, but you have to look at the idea that any Georgia quarterback is going to go out and put up numbers to win a Heisman. I hope I'm wrong and Jamie Newman has 6,000 yards, but the idea of putting money right now on any Georgia quarterback to win the Heisman just seems ridiculous to me, but apparently a lot of people are doing it because he is 3rd in the odds to win the Heisman behind only Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence.
Now he'll make some yards with his legs and everything. We know that. But what does the receiver situation at Georgia look like? And I'm asking honestly. I mean, I don't know.
We got George Pickens, and I think he's got the potential to be one of the best 2 or 3 wide receivers in all of college football. We have Demetrius Robertson. He's a 5-star.
Hey guys, I've got to run. I've got somebody that just showed up at my house.
All right, bye, buddy.
I'll talk to you later.
All right, later. You got George Pickens, and then you got Demetrius Robertson, slot receiver. Now he's been in college forever, but he's really hasn't done anything at UGA. He's got potential, but it's never materialized. And then I think Georgia's going to have to play a couple of freshmen, even if it's a rotation thing. Our sophomores, juniors, and seniors outside of George Pickens just aren't very good at the wide receiver position.
Who's the one that went and played at was it Cal and then transferred back or whatever?
That's Demetrius Robertson. He's 5'10", runs a 4.3 40. The word about him is he went to the Pac-12. His freshman year out there, he had 800 yards. I mean, he was a monster out there, but it was all zone coverage out there. The word was he came to Georgia, and even in practice against Georgia DBs, the SEC play, you're going against press man almost every single play in the SEC, and the word is he can't get off the line of scrimmage. If he could, he can outrun almost anybody and that kind of thing, but that's been the word with him is that he's not doing very well against press coverage. And I'm not even talking about like talent, like, oh, the Pac-12 has terrible DBs. It was just this. I mean, you got a guy that's 4'2", and you play 12 yards off the line of scrimmage. Of course, he's going to run right past you. You know, getting off the line of scrimmage against a safety, totally different story. So he's had a hard time adjusting. At least that's the word on the street kind of thing from.
Well, plus, I mean, the offense that Georgia was running with the quarterback they had for the past few years isn't really that receiver friendly.
Right.
Quite honestly.
Right. And I don't think Georgia, you know, I know we brought in Monken and that. I don't think Georgia's not going to look like LSU. I mean, that's not what Georgia's going to do. Georgia's, you know, we ran the ball, 70% of the time last year? Okay, maybe we run it 65% of the time now. But we're still going to be a run-heavy team. I mean, look at the running backs in the line of scrimmage. I think what you'll see different is when we do throw the ball, it totally different routes, formations. The passing game in general, I think, will be totally different. It's not that we're going to come out and start throwing the ball 70% of the time. That's just not going to happen. I don't see that happening at all.
No, you'll see a lot more read option though with Newman in there.
Beep boop. Yeah, no doubt. And he can move. He can, you know, he can run. And I'm as curious as anyone else is to see how the Georgia QB situation plays out, because Newman's a one and done guy because, you know, he's a grad transfer. You bring in Carson Beck as a true freshman. He's talented, but I'm not completely sold on him as far as being like an elite QB. I think he's really good. I like Harrison Bailey better, who wound up at Tennessee. And then, of course, you got DeJuan Mathis, who I loved DeJuan Mathis, but the brain tumor thing, so he had to sit out all of last year. And then Brock Vandagriff comes in next year. So it's going to be interesting to see how they handle especially Carson Beck, because if he doesn't play at all this year, and then you bring the number one QB in next year, Brock Vandagriff, we probably would lose Carson Beck at that point. He probably would transfer out. But it's going to be interesting to keep an eye on that. Who's next in line
that's a good problem to have.
Yeah, who's next in line after Lawrence?
Oh, DJ Uyunglele.
Oh, that's right, the ukulele in that.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a stud. He looks like Cam Newton. I mean, he's obviously a true freshman, but he's 6'5", 250. He's a monster.
He'll be a true freshman this season?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's disappointing for Clemson fans too, not to get a look at him in the spring. You know, that's always my favorite part about the spring games is you get an early look at some of the young guys that you were excited to see or whatever. I hate that we miss out on that.
Yeah, that game was supposed to be this Saturday. I was going to it. As luck would have it, I'm still going. I'm just not going to the game, but I am going up there.
Oh, just spend the day at Clemson or whatever?
Yeah, well, I'm going to hang out with, Prince and Tiger Nation. And
okay.
I even heard we might see an appearance from Carolina Jackpots up there.
Oh, Lord. What a treat that would be.
Yeah.
Oh, man. What, did I do a Clemson schedule preview? I think I did. What are y'all non-con games besides? Do y'all play another Power 5 team this year besides Carolina or no?
Yeah, Notre Dame.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, in November. Man, that's going to be a tough game on the road that late in the year. That'll be a big game.
Yeah. I'm going. Got my tickets already.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Man, I'm jealous. I wish I would have gone to that game in 2017 when UGA played. I'll never get another opportunity like that. I hate I missed out on that.
And tickets were expensive.
I bet.
Too.
Yeah, I bet. Man, yeah, that's going to be good. Y'all staying up there a couple of days?
Yeah, we're going to go up there. I don't know if we're going to go into Chicago first for a couple of days and then drive down. Because I think it's only like an hour and a half from Chicago.
Yeah.
But from the guys that are up there, that live up there, are telling me that they're going to gouge the hotel prices in South Bend. So I don't know how that's going to work out. We haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah. Hopefully you get to meet ND Sean 45.
I got some guys up there that are saying they're going to show me around. So
yeah.
I've never. That's on my bucket list to go see a game there.
Yeah, man.
So
I hate that.
I hope they don't cancel the season or the non-con games because I don't know how that'll work.
Right.
As far as getting my money back, I guess I could. I don't know.
Man. Slim Shady Kane, shout out to you, sir. Thank you for hitting that PayPal link. He says, I'm going to need you and Pete to bite your tongues and deal with the fact that Miami's about to be Orange Bowl champs. Slim's on the more reasonable side when it comes to Miami fans, though. He's not as out there as some of the other Miami fans you hear, but I like old
Is
Slim.
that the fan base that has the most infighting of any fan base? I think it is.
It definitely is on one particular channel for sure. That's all they do in that comment section over there is argue with each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will say this about Miami fans, though, and maybe put Tennessee fans in this category too, because it's been a long time since Miami did anything at all. Same for Tennessee. But they have a huge presence online. BVD, of course, makes videos, but just in comment sections when you go around, you see a ton of Miami fans and you see a ton of Tennessee fans, and those are two teams that really don't have a whole lot of anything to brag about in a long time. But their fans are
there are
everywhere.
a lot of Miami fans, and there's also a lot of Miami content creators out there too.
They probably have more than anybody else.
Yeah, I'd say they do.
There's 5 or 6 at least I think of right off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Some of them been doing it for a long time too. But you still the only Clemson one?
Little Bobby Durkins.
Bobby Durkins, that's right.
That's the only two I know of. There might be another one that I don't know of. I don't know. So if there is one, and I don't know who you are.
Did you ever know Savage Tiger?
No. Now I did come across one of his old videos. I didn't know who he was.
That was a lunatic.
Did you know him?
Only through YouTube, but yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, he was making videos when I first started on YouTube. The guy, I think this is still the case that he's in and out of prison constantly. But
well, that's not surprising by watching his videos.
Yeah,
he's a little out there.
Yeah, he is wild. Takes his shirt off, yells and screams. He's entertaining. I mean, you can't deny that he's entertaining. But the guy is a complete lunatic. He's out of his mind.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen him. I haven't seen him make a video in a long, long time. Every once in a while, maybe 3 or 4 times a year, he'll leave a comment on my channel. But like I said, it's usually when he's out on some sort of work release or something.
I think he commented on one of my videos one time early on, and I was like, "Who is this guy?"
Yeah, he's an
and then
absolute
somebody else
lunatic.
told me who he was. Yeah.
If you guys don't know who we're talking about, and I don't know how many of his videos are still up or whatever, but if you do a YouTube search for his YouTube name was Savage Tiger, spelled just like it sounds. If you guys can find any of his old videos, the guy was absolutely insane. I mean,
he seemed like he just got drunk and screamed into the camera for 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, you could see every vein in his neck and head for the entire 5, 6, 7 minutes, however long the video was. It was just, the guy was completely nuts, certifiably insane. It was unreal.
Yeah.
Savage.
Yeah, it wasn't an act. Yeah, he was out there.
Oh yeah, it definitely wasn't an act. Anyway, I guess we're gonna wrap it up for today. Almost 10 o'clock. Pete, now's your chance, sir. Pimp your channel. I think you have a website too. Whatever you want to do. The floor is yours. I appreciate you coming on this morning. And
yeah, no problem.
Tell the people where they can find you in case there's some reason somebody's watching doesn't.
Yeah,
know.
if you want to watch some unwatchable Clemson Homer YouTube videos, just type in Pigskin Pete, and that's Pete with 2 E's or 3 E's, I guess. PEETE. And howardsrock.net is the website I'm linked to. So that's it.
Real quick before I let you go, I wrote this down and then I forgot to ask you about it. And I know you've probably said this before, but for the people that haven't heard it, why Pigskin Pete? Where'd that come from?
Well, that's a good question. It was a play on Pistol Pete, and obviously pigskin is a football. So, my real name's not Pete, so pigskin didn't rhyme with my real name very good. So, Pigskin Pete.
And
what I came up with.
Why 2 E's? Is there anything behind that, or that's just how it is?
Yeah, Rodney Pete.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, his last name spelled with 2 E's or 3 E's or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it was also meant to, I don't even know if, when I came up with that name, if it was meant to be permanent, but I had to make a YouTube name.
Right.
And so that's what I came up with. And then it just, I just never changed it.
Yeah.
So, and of course, I'm not going to now.
Did you have that YouTube account before you started making videos, like where where you
No.
you could comment on videos or whatever? Or did that came about when you started your channel?
Yeah, I mean, I had my YouTube name, PIGSKIN Pete, maybe a week or two as far as commenting before I started making videos. So yeah, about the same time.
Yeah. All right. Good information to know.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, yeah. People are on the edge of their seat right now.
Riveting.
Yeah. I haven't seen anything this exciting since yesterday's Donald Trump news conference. Everything okay on your end with that?
Well, I mean, yeah. I feel bad complaining because I don't have it as bad as probably 80% of the people in the country. It does affect me some. But it's more just, stressful than anything. And mainly having two young kids. Now, the 12-year-old, he can do his own thing. But the 5-year-old being cooped up in a house, 24 hours a day, that can test your patience. Trust me. And you remember having a 5-year-old.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And even, I have a 9 and 11-year-old, and they'll be fine for a couple of days, but you can see when they get to that point where it's just like cabin fever type of thing. And we let them outside. It's not like we keep them locked up or whatever, but not being able to have their friends over, not getting that social interaction that they're used to getting at school. They just it's been rough on them for sure. But
and poor Mrs. Pete. My wife's an attorney. She's a lawyer, so she works like 60, 70 hours a week anyway. But she's working from home now, and she's always on conference calls and always in meetings. And I'm doing some work from home for one of my jobs, but I'm basically a 24-hour babysitter at this point.
Yeah.
So I'm Nanny Pete now.
Yeah. People don't understand, and I've been saying this for a long time, because I've been working from home for 3 or 4 years now. People assume that if you're at home, you're available for whatever.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
And that's just not the case.
I think it's harder to work from home than to go to a job.
It takes a lot of discipline to work from home.
And there's a lot of distractions too.
Yeah. The kids are home. You mentioned that you're in the same boat too. So, my kids are 9 and 11. They can take care of themselves. But still, if your kids are in the house, you can't help but check on them every once in a while. So, I try to sit out here and work most of the day like I normally do, but still every 45 minutes or so I go in, schoolwork going okay because they're doing the online thing. And, at lunchtime I got to make sure they got something for lunch, and then, let me go check on them, make sure they're still doing their work. That it's just is disruptive, and then even other, there are issues with family sometimes where it's just, especially if people have never worked from home, they sort of just assume that, well, if something needs to be done at 1 PM, Lou can do it. Derek can do it. He's home. Well, yeah, he's home, but he's home, but he's working though. And I think that's a hard concept for a lot of people to understand. I think until they find themselves in that situation, and like you said, a lot of people right now are having to adjust to sort of the life at home thing. I keep joking with Mrs. Lou. I'm like, I really, really, really hope they put you on the work from home deal for health reasons. But on top of that, I want you to know.
I can't believe they're letting her go in.
I keep telling her.
If you can do your job from home, you should be working from home. If you can't, obviously if you're a nurse or a doctor, you got to be there. But if you're not one of those things, then what's the point?
Yeah, and she can work from home. They have one of the things the Trump administration has done is relax and suspend a lot of these HIPAA laws that would normally prohibit my wife from working at home, but so she could work from home no problem. And in fact, she's a therapist. Most people know that. So she has patients or clients, whatever you want to call them, that come in and out of her office every day, and she talks to them for an hour. None of them are coming in. She's doing all her appointments by phone. Well, she can easily do that from home. Like, you don't have to be sitting in your office to talk to somebody on the phone. So hopefully that gets approved soon. But I keep joking with her. I'm like, I want you to be home for health reasons, but I want you to be home so you can see. It's not as easy, like the whole work for, like, you will see all the distractions and things that, especially with the kids being home. I'm like, you'll get it. Trust me. You think you can just sit in your room and close the door and work for 8 hours? No, you can't.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work that
it's rough.
way. Yeah, it takes a lot of getting used to. So a lot of people are figuring that out now. But health-wise, everybody okay with the wife, kids, parents, in-laws?
Yeah,
nobody's got the virus.
Good.
Okay.
Everyone's doing good, and we're able to keep the lights on, and most importantly, the internet and Netflix on. So I guess I can't complain.
Yeah, Trump mentioned yesterday that he had a call with all the heads of all the telecom companies in America, and I guess they track like internet usage and phone call usage and stuff like that, and then they said it's like streaming is through the roof because everybody's sitting at home.
The internet
watching
at my
Netflix.
house everyone's having internet problems in my neighborhood because everybody's on the internet
Right.
24 hours a day now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, stay safe, Pete. Appreciate you coming on. Love to have you anytime. Just let us know.
All right, guys. Take it easy.
All right, buddy. Y'all check out Pigskin Pete if you haven't already. Pigskin Pete. Just do a search for it. You'll find him. Subscribe to his channel, Clemson fan. But he's kind of like me. He doesn't just talk about his team. He talks about a lot of different things. So you guys go check him out if for some reason you haven't already. Pigskin Pete. Is that the first time he's been on the morning show? It seems like he might have been on the morning show once before. Maybe before I had BVD as a permanent co-host. I could be wrong, and maybe I had him on a night show or something, but it feels like maybe I had him on one time before. But anyway, it's always good to have him on. Known Pete for several years now. Good guy. Make sure you guys check him out. Like I said, if there's a reason you haven't already. But that's gonna do it for today's show, everybody. It's almost 10 o'clock. I appreciate y'all tuning in. I'm gonna try to finish up the Natty Back Steve video for you today and get that uploaded this afternoon. Just a reminder, there are 2 channels now. The channel you're watching now, Uncle Lou on LouTube. This is the live channel. So all the live shows will be on this channel. The morning show with me and BVD, and my Tuesday and Thursday nighttime show, the college football call-in show, is also on this channel. All of the uploaded videos are still going on to the original channel. So like I did the 90 Proof for Luther video the other day. Today we'll have, hopefully today we'll have Natty Back Steve video up for you. All those still go on the other channel. Help me out with this channel. Get a friend or a neighbor or a loved one to subscribe to this channel. We're very, very close to hitting the 1,000 subscriber mark, which is amazing. This channel is, 2 weeks old now, and already hit the 4,000 watch hours and almost at the 1,000 subscriber mark. And I owe all of that to you guys. So I really appreciate you migrating over to this channel for the live shows. I hope it hasn't been too much of an inconvenience. In a perfect world, I would have loved to have kept things the way they were. But this isn't just a hobby for me. This is how I support myself and my family. So I had to do what I have to do to protect these channels. Unfortunately, the trolls are just relentless. And I honestly didn't have a choice but to start this second channel to protect myself. So that's what I had to do. So again, I really appreciate you guys migrating over here. Help me get to 1,000 subscribers. It'll mean a lot to me. But we are going to wrap the show up today. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., me and BVD. And we do have a guest tomorrow. Who is it? I think it's Chess Hall from the comment section. And it will be his first time being on the show. So we'll all get to meet Chess Hall for the first time tomorrow. So we'll have him on. But you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Remember to stay safe. A lot of jokes. I make some jokes, too, about the coronavirus. It ain't no joke, guys, okay? It's no joke. The latest projections yesterday from President Trump himself and the 2 medical experts that he's had on that team is that we could see over 100,000 people die in the next few weeks. If you watch President Trump a lot, regardless of what you think of him, you could tell yesterday that he is concerned. So they think it's going to get pretty bad over the next couple of weeks. I hope as many people as are possible are staying inside, trying to do some of those things they're asking us to do, because if it gets as bad as they fear that it might, then there's probably not going to be very many of us who aren't directly impacted by somebody with the coronavirus. So be careful if you can. Get Netflix if you don't have it already. Binge watch some stuff over the next couple of weeks. Stay safe. I don't want to see anything happen to any of you guys in here. So take it as seriously as you can. Try to be careful. And we will be back tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Have a good morning and that.